Welcome back. Weeks
What's
are
up?
flying by.
Yes, they are. Was this 95?
This episode, 97.
What? Holy
Three
cow.
more to the big 100.
Wow,
The
man.
big 100. What do we have planned for the big 100? Any surprises? I don't know.
I don't know.
See. We'll see.
We all know what we would love, right?
Oh, God.
But
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
yeah.
One of these days, hey, I started my Instagram page to somehow figure out and get to meet Sly.
Sure.
So somehow those stars aligned. I was lucky enough. It happened.
Absolutely.
So it took 4 years, but it happened.
Okay.
We keep thinking, keep affirming that we will have Sly on round 14. It will happen.
That's right. It may or may not be 100, but someday.
Yeah. I mean, because Frank knows the round 14. Sly knows the round 14.
Yep.
So we'll get him on.
And people around Sly know round 14.
Yeah, exactly. John, obviously, and Nikki, or Nick. I don't know really know what he goes by. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
who knows?
Exactly. But this week we have a much better way of a commentary for a film. Sometimes smart people aren't very smart.
No.
So, I don't know what Rick and I were thinking. I don't even know. And it's funny because this solution kind of happened by accident.
Freak luck. What you got there is freak luck.
Freak luck.
As Mickey would say.
Yeah. So this week we are going to discuss the Rocky Balboa film 2006. Talk about the film, of course, how long it's been since Rocky V in 1990, and Balboa was 16 years. There's some deleted scenes that did not make the film that we'll discuss. But this is going to be, we're going to have it on the background with a lower volume so you can hear it and see it. And then Rick and I will be talking about it as we go.
That's right. So without further ado,
Mr. Magoo,
hope this works. It is a PlayStation 2.
Fingers crossed.
Would this come out in 1947?
He's like Doc Brown in Back to the Future. He's going to blow up. There it goes. It works.
There we go. Okay. We're in business.
There
all right.
is.
So I have got to start with this. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. It is no stretch that everybody should know that this is my favorite Rocky movie. Okay.
Right.
Everybody should know that. If you don't, you do now. This is my favorite all time. But I remember back in, was it 2000 and ended towards the end of 2005-ish, watching TV 7:00 at night. And back then, I think it was like E! Entertainment comes on at that time or whatever it was, And I'm kind of half paying attention to the show. And all of a sudden I heard the trumpets for the Rocky music. And they're like, he's back. And I think I just threw everything up in the air and I started dancing. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It was the first time I heard it. It was the first time I was just like in complete Wow. It was amazing.
Sorry, everybody. I know Rick froze a little bit there, but we kind of got the gist of the story.
Okay.
You're frozen.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I think I don't know what's going on. It happened in the last episode too. So, and the tech geniuses that we are.
Yes.
Not happening. But
right.
You heard Rick's story. It was the first time he heard the horns in however long. And yeah, he's back.
I was just flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it. I still have my movie tickets right up there.
No, do you really? Get out?
Yeah, right there on my
awesome.
Rocky Balboa poster. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Love this movie has got so much freaking meat to it, you know? It just does.
It absolutely does. And that's why we've all heard Sly say this one has almost taken over the favorite spot as well. For a
Yeah.
variety of reasons, it was so hard to get made for him. Everybody thought Rocky was, a moot point. Um, like we've already had millions of discussions on how he'll never go away. He's generational.
Right.
People are going to be watching Rocky forever.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't mean everybody's going to love it or everybody's going to think it's the greatest film in the world like we do, or it will even have an impact on some people like it has on us.
Sure.
But the millions and millions of people ranging from, I don't even know, 8 years old to 100.
Yeah, 108.
That this is, 100 exactly. This film can't impact that many people, and it's going to stop.
Right.
Right. So as we see here behind Rick, they're showing Rocky's house. Jumps up there and does like a few pull-ups, kind of wake himself up a little bit.
Yeah, there was a deleted scene after he woke up. After he woke up, he's getting out of bed. They show Cuff and Link in the aquarium. He goes out to the kitchen, and this is on the Blu-ray or the DVD, deleted scenes, where he tries to drink the eggs again, and he ends up spitting them out into the sink. He couldn't do it.
He's like,
yeah.
Well, when we first saw him walking over to the cemetery, we'll get a little bit of a closer shot for everybody. When you first saw it, you had to know it was Adrian. I mean, before all this, like you saw Paulie, but when you saw he woke up and left the house alone,
yeah,
and went to the cemetery, I mean, you knew it was Adrian. What were you thinking and feeling in that? I mean,
I was devastated. I remember watching this in the theater like it was actually this afternoon, and I remember Deb looking at me and saying, "Is she really dead?" I'm like,
her name's
not
on the
in
tombstone.
real life. Not in real life, but in the movie, yeah. I was devastated. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
I was very surprised that he killed her off. Killed her off, but she died.
Yeah.
I was the same way. For this moment here, as soon as I saw it, and I saw him walk away with Paulie, which, okay, all right. I was like, all right, Paulie's alive. Now, Adrian's dead. Mickey's dead. Apollo's dead. All he's got is Paulie, and then his son, who we see coming in here.
Right.
I was like, how is this going to work without Adrian?
And in order for this film to work as magnificently as it did, he had to have another tragedy in his life.
Yeah.
And unfortunately it was Adrian, but I mean, it played out beautifully, as much to our dismay, it did.
I would have loved to have heard that conversation between Sly and Talia Shire.
Yeah.
Look, we're gonna kill her off. We're gonna not have her in Balboa. I wonder how she felt about that. I mean, Think about it. She played that part for 14 years.
Right.
From 76 to 90, she was Adrian.
Well, I mean, think about that as if you go back a little bit can you imagine going to Burgess? We're going to kill Nick.
Yeah.
We're going to Carl. We're going to kill Apollo.
Well, that one there, I could see. I mean, Burgess is old. I mean, he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I know you're going to kill me off. Yeah. But Carl Weathers, and Sly has self-admittedly said he wishes he didn't kill that character off.
Right.
But yeah, you see in the background there, Robert's in the lobby of his office building. His boss comes down because he's always wanted to meet Rocky. And it's the first we see of Robert's lack of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You throw a big shadow, he states.
Yes.
And you could, even like right now with the look on his face where he's okay, ready, 1, 2, 3, here you go. Like he's so done with hearing everybody, yo, Rock, hey, Rock, hey, Rock,
Right.
Not that he hates his father, of course he doesn't, but
just over it.
Animosity, maybe resentment.
Yeah, just Tired of it. Tired of being in the shadow.
In the shadow. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that.
I always thought it would have been cool to have been an extra in this scene, though. Say, "Yo, Rock, hey, Rock."
Yeah.
Like some of these people do, Or like, "Hey, can I get your autograph?"
Now he's got the different fedora on this one.
Yes, he
It's
does.
more of a tweed
Yeah.
grayish color.
Right. Right.
Wonder if he mixes them out. Like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why the reasoning of that was.
yeah,
You
I
know,
agree. Like, I
rather
mean,
than going with the navy blue, he went with that
yeah,
tweed.
five films of the same hat. Why'd you switch
Yeah.
it?
I,
You
I, I
can't tell me you couldn't get one. He had some at home.
Yeah, I don't understand the thought, but who knows? Now,
Now, slide. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say in this scene, it was not so much a deleted scene, but it was in the commentary of the
Uh,
DVD, I believe it was, or maybe it was in something else. This scene here, they had to cut this short, and they had to make it quick at the Italian market because once people found out that Sly was there, they said it got crazy,
oh,
and
jeez.
people were yelling Rocky,
Right.
Rocky, and they were just coming at him, and they had to like expedite this scene and get the heck out of there. I remember watching or
Well,
hearing that.
remember Bill Chardoff said something about that when they were filming this, on
Yeah,
how I don't know if it was this scene, but on how other scenes where Sly seemed just so at ease with it, like he knew it was going to be okay. And there's a
hmm,
thousand people chanting Rocky, and he was like, "All right, this is getting a little scary. This is getting
yeah, yeah. But I remember
yeah,
specifically, and I do remember that conversation with Bill saying, first start at 10, and the
yeah,
next thing you're up to 50, and now you're like, oh, we need to get out of here,
yeah."
But the Italian market, he said, got in the
And
trailer or the commentary
right,
or whatever it was, it got nuts. It
I
got
believe it.
nuts.
So we see Rocky goes back to this. Of course, first time we see the restaurant, he's buying supplies for the restaurant. Goes downstairs to get his coat that he probably wears every day there.
Yep.
Goes upstairs and starts telling stories to the fight stories and to the patrons there. So he's like, obviously he's the local celebrity. He has a restaurant. They know it. The big painting in the back of him and Apollo. So and that place there. Once you've been there and then watch the movie, it's so different
Yeah,
and
it
so
is.
cool. I mean, but it's so different
It
than the
is.
restaurant.
It is surreal. You and I sat under the painting
Yeah, we did.
specifically on purpose, and we could oversee everything that was happening.
Well,
And
remember she asked us if we want. Remember she said, "Do you want to sit here?"
you're
And it
like,
was
no,
along the wall. It was
you
along the
want
wall
us?
leading up to the painting, and she goes,
No.
"Or there," which was right under the painting. We're like,
Yeah,
there, thank you.
yeah, yeah. And it was surreal. And I know it's not true, and I know that it's not true, but wasn't there just a speck or a glimmer of hope that Rocky would come walking in and say, "Hey, yo, how
Well,
you doing? You gonna try tonight's
remember now.
specials?"
I mean, we went there for Rocky Day,
Yes,
so remember we decided, well, let's go early because you never know.
right.
I mean, I, th- I didn't know. I
We
was
were
wondering.
hoping.
I would not have been surprised. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised that he didn't show up, but I also would not have been surprised if he did.
Yeah,
It
but
was it
not
was
so much
cool.
Sly, but just
Oh,
that
but Rocky, the
but
character.
having that feeling, like the little kid going to Disneyland and Mickey Mouse is real, right?
Yeah.
You and I are sitting on the painting, and here comes Rocky. Yo, today's specials. Yeah, I mean, it was like that feeling of going to Disneyland and Mickey Mouse is real,
Right.
because that was the
Right.
first time I'd ever
Oh
been
man.
there.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I mean, seriously, seriously. I know it's not that,
I know
but
it is so cool. I can't wait to go back. We have
yeah,
reservations.
I know, right? Crazy.
You froze up there before I know. I don't know what you said.
Oh,
You
I'm
froze up
sorry.
before
I
I
don't know
know.
what's going on. We've been having some
Yeah.
bad
Sorry,
weather.
guys.
Yeah, we've been having some
Am
bad
I?
weather in here.
Oh, you.
No, you've been fine. You've been fine.
Okay.
I apologize.
Yeah. No, no big deal. I mean, hey, look, guys, you know we're not the ultra smooth professional Academy Awards
Yeah,
broadcast. I mean, we do this for fun. We do this for just to have a good time. I mean, so it
that's
is
it,
what it is.
Glenn. You're fired. The
Yeah,
internet connection better be better.
that's it.
It better be better next time.
So obviously, at this point here, Rocky's going on the tour, as he calls it, seeing all the places where
Yes.
him and Adrian met and went to and made had meaning to Rocky.
Right.
And of course, Paulie is not thrilled with going again. He thinks it's silly.
Right. And to interject with that, there was a deleted scene leading into this scene where
Okay.
Rocky goes to Shamrock Meats. Paulie is working his midnight shift, painting it the picture of the dog with a bullet in his forehead.
Yeah.
And he goes there to ask Rocky if he wants to take the tour. And Paulie's like, I got responsibilities here, Rocco, and he's like, come on, and he's like, and they went back and forth, and someone comes through and says, hey, he's got to have a hairnet on. So Rocky puts a hairnet on because they're in the meat locker.
Okay.
And it was weird, but I mean, who was it? Well, we've heard from a few different people about how does a scene add to the movie,
make it or not make it, right?
or does it, slow it down?
Right.
That scene there, I could definitely see why it was left out, because it kind of, although it did go into this,
right,
it didn't lend a lot to it, other than the fact at the very end of it, Paulie said something to Rocky. He says, something to the effect of, "You just can't live alone, can you?" And Rocky looks at Paulie. He's like, you just have a way out. And Paulie says, I'll take the tour. So, did I freeze again?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
No, and this year behind is where Paulie opens up. He's like, what's your problem, Paulie? He's like, you treated her good, I treated her bad. You had all the good times. I don't want to remember the bad times. I mean, it's, Paulie has a lot of flaws. Paulie is, I don't want to say not a good person, but he didn't treat Adrian very nice while she was alive. Yeah. Now, who knows what happened from 5 to 6 to Balboa. So he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then Rocky says she always loved you, Paulie.
Yeah.
And he lost it at that point. He just turns around and walks away. It's a shame. It really is a shame.
Yeah. A quick fact on the ice skating rink that was demolished there. It's actually now called Fred Siegel. I don't know what that is. But it's in Santa Monica, California. I never realized that.
Oh, the actual ice skating rink? The scene?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was filmed in Santa Monica, and the ice skating rink is now this place called Fred Siegel. I don't know if it's a department store, but it's
I didn't know. I didn't know that interior was shot in. But a lot of the interiors were shot in California, so I probably should have known that.
But I mean, you're watching it, you're thinking Philly. You're thinking Philly. It's like, it's right down there around the corner. Yeah, but it's not. It's in California.
Exactly.
So
in this scene here, he goes to the corner bar there, and runs into a couple of interesting patrons.
Yeah.
Who want him to buy them some drinks. And behind the bar is a young lady that we don't know when he sees her, but we find out who it is. And it's a bigger picture here, little Marie. Now, that is not the original girl that played Little Marie.
Right.
There's a different young lady, Geraldine Hughes.
Right.
But I thought it was pretty cool that he brought that character back.
Yes.
And not that it was cool in the sense of, she really didn't go anywhere, but it's like she was still in the neighborhood, this dead end bartending job at this little seedy bar, You know, she's living in that one apartment that's next to a burnt apartment.
Yeah, right.
You know, and obviously she's divorced or set whatever with her son, and like I wonder what, like, out of all the characters previous to Rocky Balboa, like, I wonder what made him choose to bring Marie back.
You know, we kind of touched on that in the Rocky Five, where in a deleted scene with Rocky Five, which will be out in the Steel Book or whatever it is there,
Mm,
he brought back the original Marie, little Marie, for that the barrel burning scene where she was kind of strung out. You know,
mm,
she turned out the way he thought. So maybe, in my mind, maybe he was just wanted to make a more of a continuation,
right,
but brought Geraldine Hughes in, you know, because the other girl was not an actress. She
right.
just was, you know, he just liked her, I guess. You know,
Well, back and also too, I mean, in the original film, a lot of those people they were just picked up off the streets. Hey, want to be in a movie because
yeah,
they really didn't have a budget. So I mean, people were like,
yeah.
yeah, sure, I'll be in a movie. You know, they didn't care.
So if you have a major role that she's going to play, you're going to have some seasoned actress with some chops.
Oh, for this role in Balboa?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely,
yeah, yeah.
definitely needed that.
Um, quick on this one, there was a completely different scene filmed for this, where actually at Andy's the bar was filled with people.
Okay.
Okay, and Rocky comes walking in, and everybody's like, "Hey, Rocky, Rio, Rocco," you know, everyone's we miss you, blah blah blah. And Andy's in the back of the bar. He's in a wheelchair, uh, lost a leg due to diabetes, and Rocky's like, "Yo, what happened to your leg?" He's like, "Yeah, diabetes," and he's like, "Yeah, I saw they tore down the old place, which be the Lucky Seven."
Mm-hmm.
So now he's over at Andy's, and yeah, so that was a completely different scene that looked like it was maybe filmed rather instead of this one, and they went to this scene being more quiet, very
Mm-hmm.
few people in there, you know.
Well, also too, it would give him an opportunity to really kind of talk to Marie.
Yeah,
And the other scene, if I remember it correctly, he really couldn't, you know,
right,
and it was too busy, and he kind of
right,
just went and gravitated right to Andy. So
yes,
this one here, it's just kind of like five people are in the place.
yeah. It just made more sense, the continuity flow and the
Right,
relationship start, you know, where the other
right,
one was, you know, you go walk into a packed bar, it's, you know,
right, right.
everyone's patting you on the
Now,
back.
now let me ask you: when you saw this, like you said, relationship uh, uh, grow from here, what did it? Did it cross your mind? Like, you know, this better not be romantic.
It did. I'm not going to deny it. It did. And
Yeah,
I'm like, don't you dare.
yeah, it
I'll
was the
come through
same.
that. I'll come through that TV and I'll punch you in the nose.
It was the same. It was the same for me. And now I remember seeing Sly in an interview stating that he almost did make it romantic, and Jennifer, his wife, said, "Don't you dare do that. Rocky's only love is Adrian. The fans will hate it."
Good for
And
her.
sure enough, I'm surprised he didn't see that, but sure enough, his wife saw it, and he backed out of it.
Yeah. Good for
Yeah, I mean,
her.
because there's no way. I mean,
Uh-uh.
that relationship and the way they were, Rocky could never, ever.
No. No.
And she died, according to the tombstone, 6 years after Rocky Five
Yeah.
and 10 years before Balboa. So
Right.
he's at 10 years. Yeah, he's without her for 10 years.
Yeah.
So, well, what scene we got going on now? It's dark. I can't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Looks like they're looking at her little Marie's apartment.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, he brought her home. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, he brought her home, and yeah, and I think Mason Dixon was Mason Dixon just
Mason
there. I
Dixon.
couldn't. Was he just there? I can't remember. Was it Marv's gym? I don't remember, but I know that they're at the
Oh, right before
apartment.
here. Okay. Yeah, the neighborhood she lives in. I mean, obviously, it makes Rocky's neighborhood look like it's actually pretty nice. I mean, the building is burnt and demolished. She has her apartment. It makes me. It's just so Philly looking.
It's so weird, though. I mean, you've got her apartment, and then there's this place. It's like a shell, and it's all burned up. It's like,
I know. And how did you rent that apartment with that next door?
I know, right? I don't get it.
I know that doesn't look very good, but your place is nice. Like,
yeah, little aluminum siding.
Too funny. So yeah, this is where he meets Steps for the first time. Remember, she says, "No, it's the other one." And
yeah, that big Irish hair.
He's European.
It's the other one. But she's got a pretty, in real life, I think she's got a pretty thick accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that she's
like what kind of accent?
I want to say she's Irish or British or something like
really?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to take a look at that. Let's see. I didn't know that. I'm
not going to swear to it, but I'm pretty sure of it.
I've never heard her talk after that. So let's see. She was born in Belfast, Northern Ireland. So chances are, yeah. And she went to UCLA college.
Okay. I remember seeing her on an interview with Balboa, and she had a pretty good brogue to her. Was that Irish brogue?
Okay.
Is that what they call it? Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of these actors.
She's got a. It's amazing how they do the English accent, or the American accent, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's been acting since '84. She was in Children of the Crossfire, Duplex, and then, of course, Rocky. Gran Torino she was in. That was a very good film.
She was
crazy.
I saw Gran Torino a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Why am I drawing a blank on her?
It says she was in Gran Torino. She was Karen Kowalski in Gran Torino. I've only seen Gran Torino.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe twice.
Okay. That's a great movie, though. That's a great movie, Gran Torino. Get off my lawn. Clint Eastwood
goes out there with a big rifle. Yeah. All right. So right now we have Mason talking to what's the trainer's name? I forget the trainer's name.
Marv.
Anyway, Marv. Thank you. He's talking to him like, why does everybody hate me? Basically, like what's going on? Everything's been downhill, and as much as Marv's got some good things to say. Yep, there he is. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's Rick with
Antonio Tarver at the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Boxing Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Very cool.
Very nice guy, by the way.
Very cool. Maybe we'll get him on.
I would like to.
Have him talk about Balboa. They really hit each other. They were really boxing. They were really hitting each other. So it's it'd be cool to hear his input.
Right.
But yeah, they modeled, or Sly, I shouldn't say Sly modeled Dixon pretty much off of like today's bratty athletes, for lack of a better term. Like a lot of these kids today, they think they get respect by saying it, or they think they get respect by winning 5 fights or whatever it is. They don't earn it. They don't go through the ups and downs. You know how it is. Right. And that was typical of him. He was undefeated. He was beating everybody. He was a good boxer. Nobody liked the way he was. He had no heart. He had no character. He didn't feel like, but.
Well, and it reminds me like today's boxers throwback to Ali-esque with running the mouth. Ali proved his point, he put, he backed it up. Where some of these
there was
guys,
also a big difference of, being cocky and mouthy and just being ignorant. And what are you yelling? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Cursing and whatnot. So I don't know.
Yeah. You see some of them and they're just like, it's like, dude, just shut up. If you think you're so good, let's go knock him out.
Right. When he went downstairs there and we saw Spider Rico doing dishes, I mean, I know when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it's
I
Spider Rico.
know. I know. I loved how they brought him back.
Yeah.
Pedro
Yep.
Laval.
Pedro. Yeah. I don't know how you pronounce it, but Lovell. Yep.
Yeah, Laval or
Okay. So
Lovell.
now up on the screen here is, I'll put this up real quick. They show this here, the cartoon fight,
Yeah.
as Paulie puts it. And this was genius of how to bring him into the world of
Yeah.
boxing now, because this did happen with Ali and Rocky Marciano,
Yes.
and it did cause a lot of controversy.
Sure.
So it was, now they're showing Mason at his, mansion playing basketball, like he's not a care in the world. And the bar that they just showed the ESPN clip, Robert's sitting there with his friends, and he's like, all right, here we go. Rocky again.
Yep.
It's
And
like I said,
that PSP game that I showed you that I have,
uh,
that is from this movie. You
right.
know, and what you're seeing on the screen with the, I don't know, animatronics or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
That's what you're seeing on the PSP. Those same
Oh, really?
figures.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
the same. Yeah, it was cool. I saw. I might even be on this DVD where they show that they had Antonio Tarver and Sly, and they had all those dots on
Oh,
them.
yeah, all the dots on them.
Yeah. And
Like in Grudge Match.
yeah, and they're falling and taking the shots, and so they could get all the movements. It was pretty neat to watch.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So now the TV's talking about who's going to win. Some of the boxing experts are saying Rocky, of course, would destroy him. Dixon never really fought anybody. I think Bert Sugar says, I always thought Rocky was a little overrated. And of course, the computer fight starts. And, this is being shown on ESPN Sports Center, which is in every sports bar in Philly. Of course, Philly's rooting for Rocky, so the place is getting loud. Look at Robert, obviously zero confidence, uncomfortable, doesn't like what's going on.
Yeah.
He sees all the admiration for his father.
Sure.
Like I said, and then Rocky goes and plants Dixon on the ground. But I mean, I understand that I don't understand the Robert thing, because I get it. You'd want to make your own name, but in the same respect, it's not like your father was putting you on the back burner.
No.
But as we saw in Rocky V, I don't know. That's hard.
Well,
that's
yeah,
a hard thing to understand, I guess, unless you're really there.
Like he says a little bit later, he's like, every time I try to make a name for myself, or I only got this far because of my last name. So, okay.
Right.
I get it. But
right.
At some point in time, you got to grow up, be a man, and just be like, I'm going to go do this,
Right.
And yeah.
No, exactly.
That's what Rocky basically tells him in one of the most famous movie speeches in film ever.
We'll get to that. We'll probably fast forward a couple scenes that are a little, whatever. Like, I don't know. Is it easy for you to fast forward a little bit?
I think so. I know it might jump ahead a little, but
that's all right. We'll see how far ahead. I don't think where it is right now, it's not going to miss any meat and potatoes there. So see what this is. Yeah, leave it here.
So we got
Steps is at the place.
Yep.
Perfect. Looking around, I would have loved to have seen Adrian's with all the Rocky memorabilia up on the walls.
Oh, but Tony, you and I said this when we were there. We saw all the pictures that were on the wall downstairs.
Yeah.
Right. Can you imagine the job of taking them all off and putting them on the other ones, and then putting them back? Oh,
there's so many.
But upstairs, there was a little area that it was like a Rocky corner, which is very, very nice.
Yep. It had another replica of the Punch painting. It had the Adrian sign. a variety of pictures from the film. This this scene here, when he's like, "Oh no, that's not that scene there. This is the one where he was going to be late to work." He's like, "What an ugly dog."
Yeah.
That dog is pretty ugly compared to Butkus, but hey, he's a loyal dog. It's all right.
Hey, it looks like old furniture. I gotta say, this is the one I've seen the most, hands down.
Oh, really?
Without a doubt.
This
is the one I've seen the most.
Wow.
Yep.
I wouldn't be able to tell you which one I've seen the most, because I go on such stretches of watching certain ones. I'll go on a 3 stretch for, whatever. And then I'll go on a Rocky one. Then I'll go on a Rocky 4 one. And then I don't know. I don't know if I literally have watched one more than the other.
I know for a fact I have watched this one the most. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
So now Paulie tells him this is that cartoon fight. I'm going to be late for work for this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it piques Rocky's interest. He comes over, and they talk about exactly what just happened in the bar. Obviously, Rocky didn't see it, so he didn't know about it beforehand, which I'm surprised. But yeah, I mean, then he sees what he did to Mason Dixon.
Sure.
Maybe he gets him thinking. Maybe he's like, you know what? Maybe I could do. I mean, I don't know. It planted the boxing bug in him again.
Yeah, seed. Plants the seed.
I think that was beautiful.
But we did kind of see the beast come out outside of Andy's bar. When the guy was come out, and was caught, they were picking on Marie and calling her names. We saw that beast appear.
Yeah. Yeah. He just looks at her. She's like, "It's okay." He's like, Marie, it ain't okay. Yeah. He just gets out of the van, and it's funny how quick the guy back. Oh, no.
Hey, yo, you.
I mean, who goes yelling at the former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world?
Know, right?
I don't care how old you are. I don't care how out of shape you are.
I know, right?
So, again, like I said, obviously this puts a little something in Rocky, like, what's, what are these guys doing? Why are they bringing this up to me? And then he goes to kind of almost get validation, permission, acceptance
from Robert.
Sure. From Robert. He tells him, first Robert sees him. He's like, what's going on? He's just sitting out in the front of his building, and it's all dark. And then he tells him he's thinking about fighting again. Robert's like, what is wrong with you? Like,
yeah, right.
Face facts. When they filmed it, he was 59. It was released, he was 60. So he's not playing the younger person. He's playing his age.
Yeah.
60-year-old guy getting in the ring. Sounds familiar in July.
Yeah.
So, Mike Tyson's 58.
Right.
Here we go.
Right. Absolutely. Replace old pain with new pain.
Yep.
New stories.
Yep. He's trying to find
his way.
What's that?
His way without his place in life without.
Yeah. He's trying to find his place. He's trying to find his, I don't want to say accept. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Like, he wants to find the reason he's still here. Lack of a better term. I'm not explaining it properly, but Adrian's gone. She doesn't need me. Robert's his own man. He doesn't need me. What am I existing for? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I could see somebody feeling that way, but depending on their life situation.
Sure.
He doesn't understand. And obviously he would talk to Adrian about everything. You really can't talk to Paulie. It's like,
yeah,
he's got a little, you can and you can't, because obviously the scene that we're about to go into, he tries to talk to him, And Paulie brings up the fact that Adrian's not around anymore, and that was a mistake.
Yeah, Paulie just has a way of, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
He just.
I mean, he's like, oh, if it's about money, put a sign on, punch me, $5. Are you mad they took your statue down? What I do think that's funny about that line is that Rocky goes, no, not really. Like
Yeah,
I think that did bother him a little bit.
yeah. I agree with you 100%. I thought it was actually kind of ironically placed in there perfectly. It was like, like a little shot.
Yeah. I think that was at the time when the statue wasn't there by the steps.
Yeah,
and it was either at the Spectrum still, or it was down completely.
Yeah, I think it was just a shot or a jab.
Yeah, exactly what it was.
Yo, what are you
but
doing?
Here he's like, tell me about the beast, and tell me, and that's when he says, are you mad Adrian left you? And that was it. He's like, she didn't leave me, she died. And he, okay, Rocco. And this scene, look at the acting in this scene. I mean,
I thought he was brilliant in this movie. Absolutely brilliant.
I mean, the acting is just, he's convincing you right there. He is a heartbroken man, lost his love of his life, lost his soulmate. He doesn't know what direction to go. He's all bottled up and he's crying. He's not crying. He's like, I can't breathe. He's describing it. He's showing it.
Sure.
Amazing scene.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The beast inside. Yeah.
Well, just so unappreciated, actor, he's got accolades and this and that, and people, everyone knows his name. But unfortunately, it probably won't be until sometime after he passes on when he will get the true accolades that he deserves with his acting credibility and chops. Because this stuff is nothing short of
no, it's not. And it's a shame because everybody associates him with Rocky, and when they associate him with Rocky, they automatically go to the character. And it's not all that. I mean, look at that scene you just watched. Look at this scene we're about to watch. I mean, this is when he goes for the boxing license. Yep. Go ahead, Rick.
This speech, other than the next one, is just absolutely amazing. It is so freaking perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The two best speeches ever in film history, as far as I'm concerned, are this one and the next one.
Mm-hmm.
This is
because this one here, he sums up people that are like he said, you pay your freight on somebody. Now you tell me I can't do it. I did everything you wanted to do. I took all your tests. What's going on?
And we have to deny your request for a license at this time.
This coming up, I mean, my God, if this doesn't grab you, you're
he almost left too. So and then Rocky's like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I got
some rights. What rights do you think you're referring to?
Rights, like in that official paper that they wrote down the street there?
That's the bill.
Yeah, Bill of Rights. Don't say something about going after what makes you happy?
No, that's the pursuit of happiness. But what's your point?
My point is I'm pursuing something and nobody looks too happy about it.
Love it.
Look how he puts it. Look how he puts it.
I appreciate that, but maybe you're looking out for your interests just a little bit more.
Yep.
I mean, you shouldn't be asking people to come down here and pay the freight on something they paid. It still ain't good enough. I mean, you think that's right? I mean, maybe you're doing your job, but why you got to stop me from doing mine? Because if you're willing to go through all the battling you got to go through to get to where you want to get, who's got the right to stop you? I mean, maybe some of you guys got something you never finished, something you really want to do, something you never said to someone, something. And you're told no, even after you pay your dues. Who's got the right to tell you that? Who? Nobody. It's your right to listen to your gut. It ain't nobody's right to say no after you earn the right to be where you want to be and do what you want to do.
I mean, he's right. Why give me the tests?
The older I get, the more things I got to leave behind. That's life.
Yep.
The only thing I'm asking you guys to leave on the table is what's right.
You know what? You could say that speech to any man or woman alive,
Yep.
and it will hit home.
Yep.
Any person, you say that, you show them that, and it will hit home. Because
Yep.
everybody's got something.
And then, of course, the next scene, Robert's nightmare is coming true.
Yes.
The kids, the friends of his are like, front row, baby Rocky, you know, and he's like, holy Christ, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, here we go again.
This is like the worst thing that could have happened to me.
Yeah.
Like he says in the speech that's coming up in a little bit, you know, and then, of course, we switch to Mason, you know, and the promoters and stuff are trying to talk him into it to get him a better name. These guys are being genuine with him. Like, I love the one line AJ Benza says. He's like, you know, you created this. We made your world green. You did the rest.
Yeah.
And he did. There's no backstory on him, obviously, but he made it. He made the public not like him. And like that one manager says, he goes, you don't get it. Nobody likes you anymore. He goes, there's no marquee value.
Right.
I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
There's quite a few boxers out there that are like that, or
Sure.
athletes, I should say.
Sure.
So they're trying to talk him into doing the exhibition with Balboa. You know, I don't know if you think you want to skip a little bit and see what else we can.
I can.
Over?
Sure.
We don't want to jump over the important one now. So just to keep that in mind.
Let's see where we're at.
I don't know. I can't tell by the bridge.
What happened?
Uh-oh. Rick broke it. Rick broke it.
I broke it. Let me.
See, we should have left it. Oh, there we go. Oh, maybe not. Oh no. Our audience is gonna hate us. They're like, this wasn't too bad, and now you broke it.
Oh man.
Can you manually just press play?
There we go. We got it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Whew. I'm sweating. So this is where Paulie gets laid off.
So good. It's right before the speech. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where Paulie gets his walking papers after 50 years or whatever he's been at Shamrock Meats. The one guy runs away from him after he gives him the paper.
Right.
He knows Paulie's going to flip out. Oh, that's pretty funny. And then, you know, I mean, Paulie goes to Adrian's. Paulie goes over there. This scene here.
Yeah.
That cracks me
Do I
up.
look like I live on a reservation?
What happened to your eye? I hit it. Well, I had to.
Yep.
Yeah, this is where Marie's now working there. He talked Marie into it.
Yep.
She didn't want to because, again, another person from that town, that neighborhood, no confidence. Everything's been crap.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the strength to make things better. So hopefully this is helping.
Yep.
But she calls Rocky over and, you know, he's like, oh, yeah, that's relative. That's get used to him.
And in the scene coming up, this is a running joke in the family with Deb and I is, you know, we're like, she's like, oh, you know, you should really get that hat. You know, I'm like, I already got a hat. I got two hats.
I got two hats. Well, remember now when he storms away and he walks out, right? We were at that table where he walked towards.
Yeah.
And he went to, you know, the right there. Well, if you're facing the painting, he went to the left.
Right.
There's no door there. There's just a curtain. There's no
absolutely.
You don't even know what's behind that curtain. We'll have to look this time when we go.
I know.
It's funny because then Rocky runs after him and goes through that curtain. I think they look, here he goes. I got two watches.
Yep.
Yelling in the restaurant. He's like, Paulie, say, there's the table we were at. And then Rocky goes to the left.
Yeah. So, and where you walk in to where like the greeter station is.
Yeah.
There's a set of stairs that goes up.
Yeah.
You don't see. I was like, well, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah. That's and upstairs is where the Rocky room is.
It's crazy.
This is where Paulie tells him it takes guts to get back in the ring. You know, again, always having a little something nicer.
Right.
He does love Rocky, and Rocky does love him.
Sure.
They've been together for 50 years, as friends.
Yeah.
Got to take the good with the bad.
There is a deleted scene with this where that scene extends even further.
Oh,
with Polly actually breaking down and crying,
okay.
and talking kind of jumbled. It's a little bit of a longer scene, and I can certainly understand why it was left out. It was actually cut out of the middle of that whole thing. So the way that the way that it was presented in the movie was perfect, because it was a little bit too long and drawn out. But it is a good scene nonetheless to watch in the deleted stuff.
I wonder why they took out the Paulie crying part and not left that in took something else out, maybe.
If you watch it, you kind of understand, because it kind of drags.
Okay.
It does kind of drag a little bit,
Okay.
But I mean, I could understand it, although as being a purist as you, I want to see everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care if the movie's 6 hours long. If I'm going to sit down and watch a Rocky movie, I'm going to sit down and watch it.
I'll put them all together as one giant movie.
Yeah,
Rocky Balboa.
I ain't worried if it's going to be 6 hours long.
Exactly.
You got me.
So in this scene here, both of Mason Dixon's promoters comes to Rocky, try to talk him into doing an exhibition. This is not what Rocky had in mind. Rocky had, thinking, I'll go over locally, do a couple things, just to kind of feel alive again, I guess, feel like a man. And now these guys are talking to him about a major stage in Las Vegas. And he's like, whoa, I wasn't talking about this,
Yeah.
I don't want to get mangled.
Yeah.
Or
embarrassed.
Or embarrassed. Exactly. It's kind of weird on how the whole Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing is almost, like mirroring this. He's the old champ and the young kid who nobody likes and nobody feels deserves anything. Maybe it will become a Rocky Balboa fight where Jake Paul will have to dig down deep, and it's not a gimme.
Right. Well, let me
All
ask
right,
you this.
So what we got going on here?
I was just wanted to ask you this quick question, and I don't have a way of asking this off air as we're recording. Is, do you want to do this in 2 sessions because we're coming up to our hour, or do you want to do it all as one?
Oh, how much time is left in the film?
We still got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
At least another half an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay, let's do like we did for Rocky 5 then. I think this is more entertaining than the other one was.
Absolutely, I agree. 100%.
With it being on behind you and we could see it, we're talking about it more. It's not like we're watching it, we're commenting on it, and we're watching it, they're watching it. So yeah, I guess we could wrap it up here and stop it here. And where are we at? Oh, so he's talking to Marie in the van about doing this. Right. And, should I do this? And, or is my kid right? It's just ego talking. So we'll stop it here.
Okay.
And then we'll pick up right after this scene here.
Let me try
on the next episode, and we'll finish it up. Yeah, I like that idea, Rick. This way we don't have to skip over anything. And, we want to see the movie.
Right. I will say this, though, that when I remember seeing it in the theater, that scene right there when he's sitting in the driver's seat of the van, right, and he's talking to little Marie. We see Rocky come in Balboa. He's obviously 16 years older now.
Right.
So obviously he's showing some age. Right. But I just remember thinking in my head, there was a way that he turned his head to kind of like give a side glance to little Marie. I'm like, oh, I see the younger Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
In that look. It was, it was just something for me. When we resume, I'll point that out to you. Maybe maybe you won't. It's just queer, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
No, that's cool. Yeah, we'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
So obviously, as you know, we're going to cut it short here. We're going to do a Rocky Balboa Part 1 and Part 2, like we did with Rocky 5. But we hope you guys enjoy this more than the other one. Please leave the comments. It's better. It's better, but still or I loved it. Whatever. And we'll continue from there. So until next week, Rocky Balboa Part 2, we will see you then.
Yes, sir. You got it.
I liked it like this.
I did too. I mean, what the hell, Tony? Why didn't you think of this before?
I know. Let's see you guys. Have a good
Take
night.
care.